Your weekend feels ancient, like rest was always part of the deal. Half of it is barely 100 years old. The 7-day week is real history. It is almost 4,000 years old. But the 2-day weekend, Saturday and Sunday both off? Your great-grandparents may have never had it. For most of human history, you got one day, just one. So here is the question. Why did it take 4,000 years to get the second day? To find the second day, we first have to find the first one. And that takes us back 4,000 years to the people who invented the week. The place is Babylon, in what is now Iraq. The Babylonians watched the sky. They counted 7 moving lights, the sun, the moon, and 5 planets. 7 lights, 7 days. That is where our week comes from. But they did not rest on the 7th day because they were tired. They rested because they were afraid. The 7th day was an evil day, an unlucky day. On that day, a king should not eat cooked food. A healer should not treat the sick. A traveler should not begin a journey. Doing normal things could bring disaster. So they stopped. Not to relax, to stay safe. Then something changed. A few hundred miles to the west, a people lived by the same 7 days, but gave rest a whole new meaning. These were the ancient Hebrews. For them, the 7th day was not a day of fear. It was a gift. They called it Shabbat. The word means he rested. In the Bible, this day is not borrowed from anyone. Rest is built into creation, and it is commanded by God to Moses, written into the law itself. This rest was different from Babylon in every way. It came every 7 days, not with the moon. It was for everyone, even servants, even animals, and it was a blessing, not a warning. Some scholars once noticed that Babylon had a similar sounding word for a monthly rest day, but the two are very different, and any link is debated, not proven. Historians still argue about the deeper history, but one thing is clear, turning rest into a right, not a danger. That was a quiet revolution. For the next 4,000 years it stayed at one rest day. Babylon, Jerusalem, Rome, the whole world. 1 day off. The second day is the strange one, and it is almost brand new. The Romans almost broke the pattern. At first, they used an 8-day week, but the 7-day rhythm was stronger. It spread across the empire and won. Then, in the year 321, the Emperor Constantine made it law. He named 1 day of rest for the whole Roman world, the day of the sun, Sunday. Christianity then carried that single day to the rest of the planet. Sunday in Europe, Sunday in the Americas, Sunday almost everywhere. Still 1 day, always 1 day. For 16 more centuries, that was the deal. So where did the second day come from? Not from a king, not from a prophet. It came from a hangover. Go to Britain in the 1800s. The factories are loud and brutal. Workers had Sunday off. Many of them spent it drinking. So on Monday, they did not show up. Or they came in sick and useless. Workers called it Saint Monday, a fake holiday they gave themselves. The factory owners hated it. They were losing a full day of work, so they made a deal. We will give you Saturday afternoon off. In return, show up sober on Monday. For the first time, the weekend began to grow, half a day at a time. Then, in 1908, a cotton mill in New England did something simple. Many of its workers were Jewish. Their day of rest was Saturday. The other workers rested on Sunday. So the mill closed both days. It was easier than fighting 2 calendars. And just like that, by accident, the 2-day weekend was born. Not from a grand idea. It was a calendar problem. Then came the man who made it famous, Henry Ford. In 1926, Ford closed his car factories on Saturday and Sunday. Same pay. 5 days of work. But Ford was not being kind. He had done the math. Rested workers made fewer mistakes. And workers with free time went out and spent money, maybe even on a car. The weekend was not a gift. It was good business. And that is the real story hidden inside your Saturday. Look at the pattern across 4,000 years. In Babylon, rest came from fear. With the Sabbath, rest came from faith. In the factories, rest came from a fight. And with Ford, rest came from profit. Not once was rest simply handed to people because they deserved it. Every single time, the day off had to be feared, commanded, demanded, or sold. The weekend is not a natural part of life. It is something humans argued over for 40 centuries, and the argument is not over. Today, people ask for a 4-day week. It is the same old question, asked again. How much rest are we really owed? So the next time Saturday comes, remember what it really is. Not a given, not forever. A truce in a very long negotiation. The 7 days you live by were counted by people staring at the sky 4,000 years ago. And the second day you rest on was one less than 100 years ago. The weekend is older and younger than you think. The playbook always is. Before you go, think about the last online review you read. A few stars, a few angry words. You think that is new. It is not. 2,000 years ago, the people of Pompeii did the same thing. They scratched their reviews onto the city walls. Reviews of food, reviews of taverns, and some are cruel. Next time, we read the writing that survived the ash. The playbook is older than you think. We will see you there. Subscribe.